With GetLeadForms, you have the ability to create basic calculations or to show certain types of content based on what somebody selects or a combination of things that somebody selects within your lead form. Let me explain what I mean by that. So I'm inside of a lead form right now for pest control. Let's say that somebody comes through the lead form and I just want to show them a specific piece of content based on selecting bee and wasp control. To do that, there's a piece of logic that we can add to the lead form that would essentially say, if somebody chooses only bee and wasp control, then only show this specific message or this specific piece of content. We can go a level deeper than that and combine selections within the lead form. So if somebody goes through the lead form and they choose bee and wasp control and termite inspection, we can have some logic that says, if this prospect chose bee and wasp control and termite inspection, show them this message. Or if the prospect chooses mosquito control, show them this message. So you can combine options from within a step to show a specific message. And then you can even go one more level deeper and combine options across steps to show different messages. So in this case, let's say somebody chooses something such as pest control. We can also say, okay, if they choose pest control, and then if they choose business, so pest control and business, show them a certain type of message. Something like, we'll get back to you about your pest control problem for your business, or you can show a calculation of some sort. Alternatively, if they go down a path and you have a logic that says something like termite inspection and home, you can show them a different message. So as you can see, you can get pretty complex with your combinations, and that's ultimately up for you to decide how you want to configure your form and how complex you would like to get. Now I want to show you how to go about implementing something like this into the lead form. So let's say that our use case here is that we want to show, I'm kind of making this up on the fly, but let's say that we want to show a specific message to somebody who chooses termite inspection and business versus somebody who chooses termite inspection and home. So we're going to work across just one response across multiple steps in the lead form. Now, the question becomes, where do we want to show this message? We could do this in this case, we're going to do this in the thank you step. Now, you can do this if you don't want to do this on your thank you step, just create a text block step and then follow what I'm about to do. So my use case is I want to show the person a specific message based on their selection, and I want to show this on the thank you step. So to do this, flip the custom code switch to the on position. We're going to need to add in some custom code that is provided here. So you'll see something called conditional example, and there's this little question mark. And this essentially provides you with the code that you need. It's kind of flickering right now. So it provides you with the code that you need to essentially add in this logic. Now I'll walk through how to do this, and we can go from there. The first thing that I'm going to do to make this simple is I'm going to change the variable name we're going to be focused on termite inspection. So if you click into a step and scroll down, you'll see that you can add your own custom variable name. By default, it comes out with like step name and some string of numbers there. I'll just call this variable termite inspection, or just termite. So now this variable has a more friendly name. So when I go to add it into the thank you step, which you'll see me do in a moment, I'm not going to have some confusing string of numbers. And I'm going to do the same thing for home and business, just to make these friendly. Oops, that's business. And we'll say home. So you can see it updated there. Now that won't impact the form at all. unless you're carrying the variables into different steps using personalization. You just need to update them. So I'll go to the thank you step, switch custom code to the on position. Now we're going to need some logic, and it will look something like this. We can provide you with this logic. It will look like something like, the center tags are just to center this, so don't worry about that. It's this squiggly bracket, and then we want to say the information in here. So this y_42861 is the variable. So what we're going to basically be saying is, if a response is selected, show this message, and then we can continue to do that for all the responses that we want to show a particular message for. So what we need to do here is grab the variables that I just personalized, so termite inspection and home and business. And this is basically going to say, if they choose termite inspection and if they choose home and business, show this specific message. So I'll save this, and then when I'm doing something like this, I typically like to open it up into 2 tabs, just so I can easily jump back and forth. So if they choose termite inspection, and you'll see we just need to grab the variable here. At some point in the future, we can have it dynamically pop up into this step, and we also want to find an easier way to do this. So this is just going to be added between the brackets right here. So it's squiggly bracket, and then bracket, bracket, question mark, and squiggly. And then I just need to get rid of these other squiggly brackets. So you'll see service type, that's the step, is termite. Now we also want to, I jumped into the wrong section. We also want to add in business as well. So I'll save this. I'm going to switch screens. All right, so let's grab the business step. So this step name is home or business, and you see that reflected there in the variable. Then underscore underscore business is the response. And then to add multiple together, just add a comma, home or business, and you don't need the little squiggly brackets. All right, so we have, if they choose termite inspection and home or business, if they choose termite inspection from the service type step, and if they choose business from the home or business step, then show this message. We'll say show and then I'll delete this because that's from another test I was running. Then we just have the closing bracket, which is squiggly line / question mark squiggly. Now I'll save this, and let's give it a test. I hope this works. So I'll choose termite inspection. We'll choose business. And you'll see it worked. You selected termite inspection and home and business. So as you can imagine, you could get kind of complex here with what you put in here. You can add your own custom HTML and CSS, and you can show, we've had people put in like an entire web page, sort of. It's probably not the right way to say that, but you can do something pretty sophisticated. Now with the chat style form, you only have so much space. If you want to do something really like crazy, you probably want to use the enhanced form where you have that bigger text block. So that's one thing. So that's what you can do soon. But now let me show you what happens if they do not choose termite inspection in home or business. Let's just say they come in and do pest control, and then John, home, believe it's going to show up blank. So it shows up blank, so you just need to have the logic in there to account for all the different scenarios. So another scenario that we may want to account for is pretty much the same thing. We could say something like, if they choose, let's say, termite inspection and home, then show them a specific message. So let's create that logic here. We'll say, I'll just copy this, and then we'll say if they choose termite inspection, which is what we have, and home or business steps. Let's jump to the home or business step. We just want the home step. So that's just underscore underscore home. So I could just change out. This will be home. Then show you selected termite inspection and home. So this one's saying if you choose termite inspection and business, show this message. This one's saying if you selected termite inspection and home, show this message. We'll save this, and you'll see that's all right there. All right, let's preview it. Oh, wrong form. Termite inspection. No, we'll choose home. So it says you selected termite inspection and business, and you selected termite inspection and home. So in this case, it didn't work because, like, we ended up seeing both because we have termite inspection in both. So in that case, I just removed this word right here, any, from the form. And you'll see if you click on conditional examples, there's some examples here. So in this case, you just want it to be squiggly bracket, normal bracket, then just response. And if you have multiple responses, just add a comma between each. So it will be like this. So we'll save this and I'll test it just to show you that this works. So termite inspection, home, you selected termite inspection and home. So in that case it worked because I simply just switched up the brackets. Now we'll do the business just to make sure that one works. Business, so this should say you selected termite inspection and business. You selected termite inspection and business. So another example here could be mosquito control and business. Like, you can keep going with it, but the thing to keep in mind is each time you add a new one, you just need to copy your section here, your code, paste, and then go about inserting the variable names. And again, for each combination, just add a comma and the new variable name. And when creating the variable names, I highly suggest going in and updating the name so that way it's friendly and you don't have to worry about all these numbers that could make it hard to read when you go back to figure out what you did when you come back to it. So I hope that helps. We'll continue to make this feature more user-friendly. It's like the first version of like our calculations and ways to combine things together. There's definitely a lot of ways we can improve this and make it more user-friendly, and we will definitely be doing that over time. If you have any questions or need any help, feel free to reach out. Thank you.